In this lesson, I want to talk about the importance of focusing on one thing at a time. Now, there are a variety of different theories about how many habits you can focus on at once, or how many habits to focus on if you want to build better habits. For example, some researchers think that if you focus on 2 or 3 really small habits at the same time, then that can work and you actually learn how to get in the habit of building a new habit. In my experience, I think it's much better to focus on one habit at a time. And that's for 2 reasons. The first reason is because our attention and focus can conflict with one another if we have more than one thing we're trying to focus on. So by definition, if you have a behavior that is not yet a habit, then that means it's not automatic. And if you have something that is a habit, then it's automatic and mindless. Well, if we're trying to take something new, a new habit that we want to build, and turn it into something that's automatic and mindless, that means that we need to focus our attention on it. We need to actually focus on it for the time that we're repeating it until it becomes automatic. If we have 2 behaviors that we try to do that on, then which one are you going to focus on most? Which one are you going to direct your attention to more? The brain is in conflict in that case, and it makes it hard to stick to the habit long term. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you have 2 habits that you want to stick to. The first one is getting 8 hours of sleep each night, and the second one is waking up at 6 a.m. each morning. But then you find yourself sitting there until 11 p.m. So which one are you going to do? Are you going to sleep for 8 hours and sleep until 7, or are you going to stick to your habit of waking up at 6 a.m.? This is what psychologists call goal competition, because we have 2 goals and they're competing with one another. Neither one can they can't both work, so we have to choose one. So in cases like this, we have to understand that it's actually better to have our habits prioritized, to understand what is the one thing we're going to focus on above all others. The second reason that this is important is because of implementation intentions. We've talked earlier in the course about implementation intentions and how they work and why they're important for getting us to stick to better habits. And as a reminder, an implementation intention is just a plan for when and where you're going to implement a new behavior. So for example, if you say, I want to build a new exercise habit, your implementation intention could be, I'm going to go to the gym on Monday at 5 p.m. in this location. So you state when and where you're going to implement the actual behavior. But there have been some follow-up studies, and those follow-up studies have shown that implementation intentions only work, and certainly work best, when you're focused on one goal and not multiple goals. So if you write out plans for yourself for 4 different habits, for example, then it's unlikely that those implementation intentions are going to be as powerful, because some of the goals may conflict with each other. They may rub up and prevent one another from happening. So what I'd like you to do is click on the worksheet below this video, think about the habits that you want to build, and I want you to rank and order them, prioritize them. Which one is actually at the top of your list right now? Now, that doesn't mean that you'll never get to the other habits, but it does mean that if you're choosing which habit you're going to focus on, you're going to focus on the one at the top of the list. You know which habit is the one thing that you want to master, and then you can make concessions for all the others until that behavior is automated. So go ahead and do that now, and I'll see you in the next lesson.